I broke both my ankles, feet, my pelvis. I broke my back, my lumbar spine, L4 and L5. I shattered my vertebra that had gone straight into my spinal cord, and I actually cut my spinal cord. The doctor told me I'd never walk again, I'd never be able to skate again. Sure, it's quite a big story. Let me start from the beginning. Downhill skating is an extreme sport. It's quite a new sport, really. It's taking off at the moment. It's getting really big. I've been skating for about 5 years now, skating with my friends every day, basically. I just love the feeling. I love the freedom. When you skate, your mind is just clear and you just feel like you're in another world, like everything is left behind and you're just skating. It was Easter time. Me and a couple of my friends decided to go skating down a hill. It's probably one of the most dangerous hills in South Africa. It was 4 of us, and it was about 12 o'clock midday, peak traffic time, and we started off pushing down the hill, and my friend's dad was following us behind, driving in the car, and we started skating. Everything was going good.
I was actually like 10 meters in front of Matthew when it happened, and it was a big left corner. So I went into it, and while I was coming out, I saw this white bucky going up, and I was like, oh, I thought in my mind, I hope everything's okay.
Yes, it was just a Saturday afternoon, the beginning of the school holidays, and I was busy doing things at home, and I got the phone call. Matthew had gone skating with his friends, and the friend's dad, and the dad phoned me and just said, Matthew's had an accident, but he's fine, don't worry. We think he may have broken his leg, and we'll take him to the hospital, don't even rush.
As we get to the first hairpin, I slid out on a small oil patch, went into the wrong lane, hit a bucky, head on at about 70, maybe 75 kilometers an hour.
Help me! Help me! Undo! My leg! Dead!
And
My leg!
gee, I hit it, went straight under. My left leg went straight through the rim of the tire. My right leg went under the tire. Every time the tire would turn, it would drive over again and again over my leg, breaking it in different places. My hands were bleeding, my gloves had fallen off, my shoes had gone off the edge of the cliff, my board snapped in half, my helmet was cracked right down the center all the way through, my visor was scratched from the tar, broke my back on impact, pelvis, woke up like under the car, opened my eyes, everything was black at first.
Help me! Help me! Undo! My leg! Dead!
And I just started shouting. I could feel the pain like coming up from my legs, my back. I couldn't really feel that much. Just started screaming in pain. And then my friends helped me, pull me out from under the car the rest of the way. It was quite a hectic.
Help me! Help me!
As I hit the car, went straight under. I saw just darkness, and out of instinct, I just said, like, the first thing that came to mind, the first thing that happened, I was just like, please God, help me, like, please let me be alive. And then went straight from pure darkness, just darkness. I could just see light coming from underneath the car. It was just like one of those miracle moments that it seems sort of surreal.
Yeah, as he hit the car in a head-on collision, not in another motor vehicle, just straight his body, he cried out to God, and God saved him.
They x-rayed me, checked out everything, and then that night I went in for operation on my ankle, where they put in metal bolts, plates, screws, all the rest. And I was actually discharged from hospital 3 days later, unknowing that I had broken my back and my pelvis, broken 2 vertebrae in my lower back, my lumbar spine.
He had 5 days at home or something before we realized he couldn't walk at all, and there was definitely a problem.
During my period at home, I started to get really sick. I was passing blood. I was puking up blood. I was feeling really sick. My legs were burning.
He couldn't eat anymore and he was just going downhill. And from there we took him back. And
They had actually told me I was paralyzed and I'd never be able to walk again.
well, the night the neurosurgeon came and he spoke to Matthew and I in the hospital room, and he told us that Matthew might never walk again. It was the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you were a parent and a doctor said to you, your son may not walk again. You know, that's a very tough thing to stomach. I couldn't really make sense of it at the time, and the doctor thought it would be appropriate for me to talk to Matthew about the possible journey ahead.
He was such an active child. He just got his tennis South African school colours the week before, and he was number 5 downhill junior skater in the world ranking, and so active. And to be told that he might never walk again was just beyond what I could imagine.
That first day after my accident, I told my mom, I'm going to be able to walk again and I'm going to be able to skate again. And it was like out of the question at the time, and everyone told me I was crazy.
Matthew was incredible. He, from the very first night when the doctor came and told us that, he shouted at the doctor. He said, no, that's not happening. I will walk again. I don't accept that and I will be fine. And he was so positive that the whole way through, he kept everybody else up.
He was in really bad shape, but he was so positive throughout the whole thing, and it was really incredible to see that.
One day, my parents' prayer group that they have came in to visit me, and they all prayed for me, and it was quite an experience.
We all pray often, but there is that element of doubt. So, you know, I just thought they're going to go and pray for Matthew, and we'll see what happens.
They prayed for healing for him, and when they left, he felt tingling in his feet and like electric shocks going through his body and down his back, down his spine.
And I was able to move again, and it was just a miracle. It was just after that prayer, a few hours later that night, this sensation came across my whole body, and I could feel it was incredible.
And he pressed a bell and he called the nurse and he said, I don't know what's going on, but I've got this weird feeling, a tingling in my feet and these electric shocks going through me. And she said, that's your nerves reigniting. That's what happens when your nerves reignite. And I really believe that was the beginning of his healing.
They got me to take my first few steps. It was really shaky, really wobbly. And I took my first few steps around the hospital, and then 3 days of practice. Would do this more and more each day, and by the end of 2 weeks I was able to walk all the way to the end of the ward and back. Now, about a year later, I'm skating every day, practicing, racing, sliding, hectic, falling, hurting myself again. Just okay. It's the best feeling in the world.
I mean, it's amazing. At the time of Matthew's accident, we were in the final stages of fundraising for the film The Perfect Wave. How it links to the film is the film's got 4 pillars in it. They're 4 pillars of love. There's a mother's love for her son, and you know, Sue, my wife, is a doting mom and absolutely loves Matthew and prayed for him and nurtured him through a year of homeschooling. So, you know, that's an aspect that was in our lives. The second aspect was our hero's love for surfing, and you know, it can be a parallel with Matthew's love for skateboarding. And then thirdly, you know, a young man falling in love with a girl. Whilst Matthew was ill in bed and lying there, so Brittany came into his life and she sat next to him and he fell in love, and you know, this relationship is a year later. And then probably most importantly is God's love. And you know, we saw God's love for Matthew. As Ian McCormack had his accident and got stung by the box jellyfish, his mother cried out to God, and God saved him. And the very same thing happened with Matthew as he hit the car in a head-on collision, not in another motor vehicle, just straight to his body. He cried out to God and God saved him. So there were very strong parallels between what happened in Matthew's accident and what happens in the film. You know, as a director, it helps when you have empathy in a situation that you're directing and understanding. And so this experience gave me great understanding on how to brief Cheryl Ladd, who is the actress, on the relevance and importance of a mother's prayer and what her prayers in the film would do to an audience across the world who possibly sees the film. To date, in screenings that we've had in both South Africa, California, and other countries in the world, mothers have come crying, as have their children, who've related very much to our film and our story.